Welcome back to Property Play. I'm your host, Elena Saradidis, and today I have Chris Slightham back again. We are talking all things about what to look for in an agent.
All right, let's do it.
Okay. So what are the questions that you should be asking an agent if you're interviewing them? Or where should I look to find an agent?
It's a great question. I think there's different ways to find agents. A lot of times people are finding agents from referrals. So their family or friends or friends at work have used somebody in the neighborhood. I think there's definitely a lot of that happening now. But also you're finding people through interviews. And I think that if you are seeing that maybe there's marketing coming into the area that you're in, or you're aware of somebody, or you're obviously using technology to search, maybe you're using ChatGPT, who's the best agent in Liberty Village, right? And that you're going to get different answers. The key is sitting down with somebody, I think, and seeing if you click, seeing how they deliver their message, and feeling out if it's the right fit for you.
How many agents would you recommend interviewing?
It's a great question. It could be from 1 to 5. I think it has to speak to you as an individual. Some people like to do a ton of research, and others, it's more of like, you know what, I really enjoyed our conversation. Let's get to work, right? And you clearly bring a ton of professionalism to the table, and I don't need to look any further. So I don't know if there's an exact formula, but I think you should determine really how committed they are to the business, because not everybody realizes this, but not every realtor is full-time, right? Because there's no clock to punch in our business. You're an independent contractor. You have a real estate license for sure. You have to be licensed to trade real estate in the province of Ontario. But outside of that, the number of hours you commit to the role, how many transactions you've done, there generally is no set requirement there. So if that's the case, I always, suggest that you definitely want to research the person that you're working with, understand, are they full-time in the business? What is the company they're affiliated with? Who they are in the industry? Do they have history in the industry? And that kind of, to me, it's, I think it's when you're buying anything big ticket item, right? Anything, even smaller ticket items, right? You're looking for quality today, I think. And in order to find that, I think it's important that you do some interviewing and figure out, what type of experience does that person have? How many times a year are they transacting real estate? Do they have any references?
It rarely happens, but I got asked the other day.
Great.
Yeah,
I'm surprised it doesn't happen more.
In my career, I've had it twice. I've had people ask me for references. This time around, though, I gave a client that I just transacted with.
Yes.
And the client called me back afterwards, the person that was interviewing me, and said, I wish that my clients talked about me the same way yours did.
Yeah.
And he's like, you should put him on everything. Like, all your marketing should have this guy on it.
That's
like,
nice.
He should be on everything.
Well, I'm not surprised. Like, you do an incredible job with all your clients. And I think that the reason why I don't think people ask you for a lot of references is because when they meet you, they can tell that you know exactly what you're talking about. You come with facts, you come with stats, and you come with experience that just presents itself naturally, right? You're not hiding behind anything. And I think that's what you want to look for in any real estate transaction.
I think also because I don't lead with the sale. Like, I'm never the type of person to be like, okay, we're going to sell your house. I'm like, why are you trying to sell?
Yes.
Like, explain to me why you want to sell. And if you can't give me a good reason, don't sell. And then they'll just sit there and be like, what do you mean you don't want to sell my house? And I'm like, I'm an advisor. Yes. It doesn't make sense. If it doesn't make sense, it doesn't make sense. If we need to sell to do something else, then we'll do that. But if we don't need to sell, why are we selling? Like, give me the why.
Yeah. Well, education, right, is really what we focus on. And that's our mantra. Is educate, educate, educate. And that's exactly what you do. And if you educate people, you're helping them make a great decision. You make a great decision, they're going to be super happy.
Is there 3 questions you should be asking an agent when they come in to interview with you?
Oh,
like, what would you be looking? Yeah, I am. What would you ask?
It's a great
You haven't had to interview agents.
No, I haven't.
At least not in this capacity.
Not in this capacity, right? So it's been it's been a while. But I think most consumers are looking for experience, So, what have you done? Tell me about that. Knowledge, right? In the marketplace, and marketing expertise. If you are marketing a property, if they're interviewing you for selling a property. So I'd want to know, what do you do to market my home? Like, what have you done? Can you show me? Because I think that's a big thing. Show me, don't just tell me what you've done. And then from a buy side, I want to know what is it like from a negotiation standpoint? How do you represent me as a buyer in negotiations? What do you do differently than somebody else?
Okay, that's a good one.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, tell me the answers. I'm like, that's a whole other episode. It's going to be on Signature Live. Tell me the answers to all these questions you just asked me. Okay, going back though, you mentioned, knowledge about the industry. So I find when people are presenting, everybody somehow, even though we're looking at the same data, all come up with a different list price.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes sellers will be like, well, so-and-so told me my house is worth more. Mm-hmm. Can you kind of shed some light to where how do you come up with a list price? How do you come up with fair market value? What should the consumer be looking at their agent to tell them as opposed to just a number?
That's a great question. I think residential real estate for end user use, not financial modeling or cash flows, is a little more, it's science and art. The science of it is, here's the square footage, number of bedrooms, age, lot size, fit and finish, maybe in terms of, what's going on in the property. Does it have a pool? All those sorts of things. That's kind of the science of it. The art of it is, location relative to its other competitive listings in the area, where it is on the street, what direction it faces, how it's presented. It's a lot. Even today, you'd think, paint and decoration speaks loudly in today's market. So that's more of the art of it. And so we combine really that and come up with value. A lot of it, though, is based on the science of what's going on in the area. And you really do have to look at directly what's going on in your market area to say, okay, let's be realistic. And if there's enough, if it's not too unique of a property and there's enough competitive examples, then you should be able to, as a consumer, see the facts that are being laid out. Yeah. And so if somebody tells you a number that you think is like, oh, I'd love to get that number, right? Or they just agree, you want to, well, my neighbor got this, but I want that plus. Well, I'd be asking them, help me determine factually that that's possible. Because I could sit here all day, Ellen, and say, well, your house is worth this. And you're like, oh, that's great. Sign me up. I want to give you my listing. But have I really thoughtfully determined that I can achieve that value for you? Am I doing you a proper service by just agreeing with you that, oh, sure, I'll get you whatever you want? Or have I sat down and said, look, I'd love to get you that number, right? But today, based on what's going on in the marketplace today, to where interest rates are, where consumer demand is, where competition is, where recent sales are, it's looking more like this. And hey, if that number doesn't line up with you, like you said earlier, let's not sell, right? Let's wait until the number lines up. But if you're sitting down with somebody who just wants to tell you what you want to hear, respectfully, I know it's tough to hear that, hey, it's not worth as much as you want, but do you really want to sit on the market for the next 3 months thinking that you're going somewhere and it's unrealistic? I don't think that's ideal. And so you have to be a little bit, careful in terms of that analysis.
I don't want to say trade secret because it's not a secret, but like if you're going to go into a listing presentation, you should know about all the houses around that are on the market, and 100%. Bonus if you've gone into them.
Oh,
so when you
absolutely.
When you sit down with, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, this is what's going on. You're like, 123 Banana Street sold for X amount. I went in it last week. This is how it compares. This house I went into, and show them it. So they leads them to the actual price that it should be at. Like, everyone wants their home to be worth $1 billion. If someone knocked on my door tomorrow,
I'd be worth more, right? We all do, right? We all do.
Like, what's the number that if someone knocked on my door, like someone asked me for feedback the other day, and it's a house on my street, and they're listed for $3.5 million, and it's a semi.
Wow.
And it's a triplex. I own on that street.
Yeah.
I own triplexes on that street. I literally sat down and I was like, I hope you get it.
Yes.
Like, I will buy you whatever
cheering
you
for
want if you get it. And he's like, what do you mean? Have you looked at the cap rate? And I'm like, when you're looking at investment properties, yes. What is the ROI? Like
Yes.
how much money you're getting back matters, but also the consumer needs to be able to digest that number. And for a semi in that area, it's not digestible. I hope it is. If someone wants to buy it, please.
And arguably it will be someday,
It will, but
just not yet.
is it today?
Yeah.
And that's kind of where I think sellers get a little stuck, is if you chase after the agent that's promising you the most amount of money, what I've seen happen is price reduction, price reduction, price reduction, and you end up almost selling for less than what the original agent told you it's worth.
You often can, right? Because anything, like you think about yourself, like if you see something sitting on the market, whether it's a car or a home or any big ticket item, the longer it sits, what goes through your mind?
There's a problem.
I wonder what's wrong. I wonder why nobody else wants this. So what does that do subconsciously for you? Well, it starts to devalue it, whether it's right or wrong. And it could be because, to your point, it was mispriced from day one by accident, and unfortunately you end up getting less.
But before we freak out every single seller and buyer with days on market, what's common right now? Like, it's common for things to sit longer. It's not 10 days and it's sold, 3 days and it's sold. It's not the norm. And different pockets have different, selling rates. Some of them are still extremely hot pockets that property goes up on the market, multiple offers still exist and it sells. But the norm is not, it went on the market and it sold.
No, even when things were going so fast, that's not, I talked about healthy value appreciation a few minutes ago. That is not healthy, right? So we're seeing houses sell in the 30-day average right now, 28 to I think 32-day range right now on average. But to your point, you might be in a really, really unique pocket where there's rarely ever any inventory and there's a lineup of people just wanting to get into your neighborhood. Well, it's the next thing that comes up is going to sell, as long as it's, fairly priced, it's going to sell very quickly. But then you've got a situation where maybe in downtown Toronto, there's lots of one-bedroom condos available.
Yep.
Smaller ones, and that might take 60 or 90 days to sell.
And you're not going to get a showing every day.
No, not right now.
Yeah. I actually had one recently, and I think it's a really good story or analogy for like what is happening currently in the market. But it was priced right. Within, I want to say 40 days of being on the market, I only got 2 showings. But we sold, and we sold for 98% of list, or I think it was 98 or 99. Like we were basically at list price. But it's because we priced it well and we didn't panic. And like panicking happens a lot where like someone lists, they notice 2 weeks go by and they're like, oh my goodness, like time to drop it again and drop it again. Dropping the price at that moment's not going to change anything. There's only a number of people shopping for 1-bedrooms. They're going to see it.
Yeah.
And like when they see it, they'll come and negotiate, but just give it a moment. It's not a panic.
That's the biggest challenge with real estate is time. And if you don't have time on your side, if you can't have patience, that's tough, because you might have to take less than even what it's technically worth at that moment in time because you've run out of time and you need a quick closing or you need something to happen fast. And it's we're seeing that a little bit in today's market.
Well, I'm very grateful that clients call me in advance of when they need to do something.
Yes.
And I usually tell them, like, we could wait. And I've told people recently, we can wait until the new year and put it up then.
Yeah.
But you have X, Y, and Z closing. And in the new year, I get X amount of time to sell your property. And what happens if we need more time? We don't get it. If we put it up now, at least I have more runway to get you the best result. Like, we're not desperate. And
that's the way to go.
It works in our favor. Like, there is opportunity in this market. And believe it or not, we have buyers that are searching for things that don't exist yet. Like, don't be afraid of listing your property. Like, the most important factors when you're listing is price, appearance, time, and traffic. That's it.
Yep.
If it's priced well, it looks well, you gave it enough time for exposure, it is going to sell.
It will.
Yeah.
That's great.
That's all for today. On the next episode, we're going to talk about what makes a great agent and what Chris looks for when he hires agents.
Look forward to it.